Hi gentlemen, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that I got, so I'm going to get right into it. Naz, I just came out of a 12-year marriage. Honestly, I thought we were going to make it. We had a house, kids, routines, all of it. But somewhere along the way we grew apart, and I feel like I don't even know who I am anymore. Now I'm single again, and dating feels like a completely different world. I've heard this many times. It's all apps, swiping, texting, and games. I don't know the rules, I don't know how to read women anymore, and I don't want to waste time. How does a man my age actually find something real after losing the life he built? So that's a really heavy question, and I'm glad that he asked me this. And I'm glad that I'm able to answer this in a more detailed video than just like one paragraph or something. So firstly, before you even jump onto a dating app, before you get on a date, what I would recommend you to do is to be with yourself for a little while, to date yourself, you literally just answered your own question. I don't know who I am anymore. So if you do not know who you are anymore, you have to first relearn and rediscover who you are. I would recommend you to not date right now. And the reason is because I want you to truly understand what you want out of your life. When men don't know who they truly are and they start dating, that is when they're going to attract the wrong person for you. And then you're going to repeat the cycle, whatever, exactly happened in that relationship, it most probably is going to repeat. You're going to meet the same person, but in a different body. So my biggest advice is firstly, date yourself, enjoy your life, find a hobby, do things that you've always wanted to do. What is that thing that you really wanted to do as a child and then you stopped doing it because life got super serious and you got married and you had children and then you stopped being your truest, funnest self. So my first thing is find that out. What is that thing that lit up your soul? Secondly, I would want to ask you, do you have a good set of friends? Men that you can go to when you really need to release or you need to talk or vent or whatever it is, you need some good advice. Do you have a set of good friends? Because majority of the times when I speak to men and I ask them what kind of, what are the people around you? Because those people are a huge, they really are the indicator on where you're going to go in your life. One of my clients, he was addicted to alcohol, and so he went to rehab and he got himself all together. And then when I ask him, hey, what kind of friends do you have around? It's like, yeah, they're great, but I really wouldn't go to them when I need something, or if I need advice or want to vent. I don't really talk to them about it. Who do you talk to then? I don't really have anybody that I talk to. So that is what I'm saying. I need you to have a set of good friends. And even if you're 55, I don't give a shit how old you are. You still can make a new friends. Just because you are 50 or 40 or whatever age you are doesn't mean that you stop making friends. Because if you really think about it, you're not the same person as you were when you were 30. You have changed your values, your morals, all of that. Your perception, your mindset. It has changed. For most people, it has changed. So I would definitely recommend to first figure that out. Get a hobby, enjoy your life, put yourself out there, get a bunch of great friends around you that are really there for you, not because they want something out of you, but because they truly care about you. And if you end up sharing something deep or something that is emotional, they're not going to make you feel bad about it. You need friends like that in your life, period. Thirdly, in order to know who you truly are, you can learn about yourself by going to bars, going to clubs. I know I'm not saying you're doing it, but I'm just saying, we end up going out and doing things and numbing ourselves instead of actually sitting with ourselves. So my biggest thing is to sit with yourself, be still, be quiet. You don't have to constantly be doing. It's actually about doing less. That is how you connect to yourself, is when you're doing less things. And I know it's very difficult for us in this day and age where we're told to be productive, and if you're not doing something, you're not good enough, which is like the biggest BS ever. So learn, and the best way to do this is really to go out in nature. If you find it hard to sit by yourself and just close your eyes for like 5-10 minutes and just So I would recommend to implement a meditation practice and also some journaling in the morning time. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, that is when your subconscious mind is wide open. And that is when you're able to rewire your wiring. It could be literally 5-10 minutes. It doesn't have to be this whole, crazy thing. But meditation, I feel like people give it such a weird or bad name. Meditation is just sitting by yourself and shutting the fuck up. Literally, that's it. Just shut up and stop doing things. And yes, to be honest, for me, it took me a long time to learn how to meditate. I didn't really like it. I do have a bit of, that's what they said in high school, I have a bit of ADHD. I don't really take meds or anything for it. I don't really believe in that. But I do feel that when I learned how to meditate and really just kind of not even control my mind, because you cannot control your thoughts. Your thoughts are going to be on, they're going to come up for you. But that is the best way to know what is really coming up for you. A lot of, when you're a bit older, it's just life. You're going to get baggage. You're going to have some more fears that you didn't have when you were 30 years old, fears about your children or whatever it is. So really trying to understand all of you, all parts of you, the ugly parts, the good parts, and that again takes a lot of stillness. I cannot go a day without meditation, because when I do, I just really feel like I'm super reactive and I'm super snappy. But as soon as I meditate, I'm more, it's not that I'm perfect. Yes, I can still be snappy at times. But at the same time, I'm more responsive rather than reactive. Also, another thing I would say is journaling. Journaling is it's literally just changed my life. It is so important. It's like a reflection. You're seeing your truth on paper that you're writing yourself. But a lot of the times we tend to not acknowledge that part of ourselves because we're so busy doing. We're moving. I have to go to this, this job, and then I have to go pick up my kids, and I have to go and have a glass of wine. Like, we're always doing instead of just being still. So journaling, meditation, again, I would go in that order, meditation and journaling. And also what I would recommend is that sometimes in life, when you get to a certain point, you forget all of the things that you've accomplished, all of the amazing the hurdles that you've gone past. And so I would definitely sit down and write down all of the things that you accomplished in that age. Okay, what are some of the things that you're proud of? The things that you have done as a man. There is an emotion that is going to come out of it, and it's very powerful. Just that awareness that, okay, you might be single again. Okay, you might have been gone through a divorce, which is very difficult and very tough. But at the same time, if you didn't go through all of those things, you wouldn't be the man you are today. So all of those things had to happen for you to be here today with us, right? So I would recommend to write down maybe 10, 20, as many as you can write. Write down all of the things you're proud of that you've done. And if you ever are in a downward spiral, I would recommend to read that. Read that list, because it really helps me whenever I'm going through a tough time and I just feel like shit. I just get up, that list, and I start reading it. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm good. I've done a lot of things in my life, so I'm okay. I'm just going through a phase right now. And sometimes I feel like in life, because you can't see the ending of it, you tend to judge it. Because it's so difficult. I got rejected by a woman, by a job, or whatever it is, because you can't see the end, the plan, the divine plan that is really happening for you, you tend to judge it in the moment. You tend to say, oh my God, this is crap, nothing ever works out for me. But in reality, it is the universe, God is really trying to make it work for you, but you're just not able to see the full picture because you're in the journey of it. Wow, I'm so dramatic. Oh my God. If you ever feel like you're going through a shit time right now, my biggest advice would be to look back at your life and just see, oh my God, I lost my job when I was 30. And actually what came out of it was that I found my purpose. And that purpose led me to finding my soulmate. Like every single thing that happens to us, which is we think in our human head, we're like, oh my God, this is horrible. But in reality, it's actually happening for us to raise our consciousness. And so a quick story, there was this girl, she was giving me a massage. She's an amazing woman. Anyway, so she was telling me how she was in this really unhealthy marriage for 10 years. She had about 5 kids. And then I believe it was during that divorce, it was just a really tough time for her. She ended up having an accident, and she was just like, why is this happening to me? What have I done? Like, just like everything is going wrong in her life. And then guess what happened? The man, apparently the cop or the lawyer, I forgot which one it was, he was her soulmate, right? So he I guess they were at the court together and the proceedings happened, and so he asked, I think it was the plaintiff or the cop, I'm really forgetting. Anyways, so I believe it was a cop that asked the lawyer for her number, and then the rest is history. So it's like these things happen, and you're like, why is this just, everything is just going to shit? And maybe sometimes it's happening for you, but you can't see the end picture. So that's why I always tell people, and myself, including, is like, don't fight with what is. I know I'm literally, I don't even think I'm answering this question, but I don't care. Don't fight with the isness. And this is what Eckhart Tolle is, his main thing in life is don't obviously be aware, be conscious, but don't fight with what is. Because the more that you're fighting with it, the more you're creating resistance. So when you just accept, okay, you know what? I got hit by a car, shit happens, I got late for whatever it was, I missed this. But it is really happening because that is the path that is going to lead you to where you ultimately need to go. Back to answering this question. A lot of men that come to me have been through a divorce or a bad breakup. And so one of my I'm a very reflective person. I want to know, what did you learn out of it? What is something that you could have done better in that relationship? And again, when you answer these questions, you're not looking who to blame. Oh, because my wife did this and she took all my money and then now I'm... No. We're not here to vent. Because venting is a whole different ballgame. You have your time to vent, to heal. You have to do all of those things before you even start dating. If I'm talking to you as, let's say we're on a date, and you start talking about your wife and you say, oh my God, my ex-wife is horrible. And because I had one of my clients who told me this, and she's taking about, $20K per month or whatever it was, a big amount. And, it's like when I'm on a date, when a woman is on a date, she's going to find it super, uber duper unattractive. Because what it says about you is that you are not ready to date, because you're still talking about your ex-wife. First of all, you're talking about her. Secondly, you're talking negatively about her. Regardless of what has happened, you do not mention those things on a first date. Maybe later down the line when you want to, share how you feel about it. Yeah, that's totally fine. But women have this thing, and I know there's a lot of women as well that are negative, and they have that kind of, they complain a lot. It's just not attractive. Whether you're a man or woman, somebody who constantly has to look at the negative side, who's always who's hopeless, it's not sexy. Please find me somebody who complains and somebody finds it sexy, because it's really not. So before you even start dating, are you somebody that tends to complain a lot about your past relationship? Have you healed? Have you taken the time to reflect, understand what you have done in the relationship? What were the parts that both of you played in the relationship? And taking accountability on what you could have done better in that relationship. That is the biggest thing, because when I'm on a date, the first thing that I look for in a man, just letting you know, hopefully when I'm going to marry is not on watching these videos, is accountability. If I don't see that you're taking accountability on your past relationships, that's it. That's like, there's no continuation. Thank you so much for the date. And by the way, I'm not going to tell you that, hey, I'm looking for a man who holds himself accountable. That's just not something I'm going to tell you. I'm just not going to go on the second date. Simple as that. And so asking yourself, when did you guys start falling apart, growing apart? Because, in another relationship that you're going to get into, you're going to grow apart in that as well, right? Eventually, if we're not making effort together in that relationship, it is going to grow up, we're going to grow apart. And so really trying to ask yourself, why did that happen? what led to that. I don't even know what number I'm on, but the next thing I would say is to stop listening to men and women that are negative about dating, friends that are just constantly saying, oh my God, dating is horrible and the dating apps. Whenever I hear someone talking negatively about dating, I just switch it off. I'm not listening to it anymore because it's a bunch of BS. I've seen people that I have spoken to, clients of mine, that have gone ahead and met their soulmates. So I know that it happens all the time, but the more that you constantly hear this over and over, dating is so difficult, it's so hard, and women are so materialistic, whatever it is, stop listening to that BS. It's like somebody who wants to be a millionaire, but all they think about is, oh, money's so difficult to make, money's so hard to make. I need to really work hard in order to make $1,000. When you keep on listening to that, what happens? You're going to attract that reality into your life. So my biggest thing is to be cognizant of what are you listening to? What kind of music are you listening to? That's another big one. If you're listening to just men degrading women all day long and this, whatever it is, I'm not going to say it on here, then it's I don't say certain things because I'm like, oh my God, my mom is watching. This just, Mom, get out of my head. I know some people are going to call me delusional and that's okay, but I feel like dating is so much easier than it was before. I feel like we have a dating app where we can see somebody's picture. I know for the most part, I know men complain that a lot of women are catfish. I understand that part. But the way that you can figure that out, if somebody is catfish, there's a way to do it. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it. But you see somebody's picture, you see their age, what they like. Before, back in the day, we didn't have dating apps. We literally were just going based off of what somebody was telling us. We have to take their word for it. Right now we have Google. We can Google, is this person a criminal or whatever it is. So I feel like dating right now is the easiest it's ever been. It's just that I feel like we have been programmed. A lot of people on the internet were constantly talking about how hard it is and how difficult it is. The reason why I feel like we think it's so difficult is because we want it now. I'm going on a date. I've been on 2 dates. It's not worked out. These women are bullshit. Dating sucks. That is not what dating is about and finding the one. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's really just about the process and really enjoying the process. And I know men are going to say, well, I'm paying for the dates and Yeah, okay, if you're paying for the dates, first of all, if you find it difficult to pay for a big date, I always recommend go for a coffee or, do something that is easy and relaxed and you don't have to. Always do the 5-star, $200 dinner. I feel like that really does tell a lot about that woman as well. Now, not to say that you still don't have to woo her, because yes, women do like to get wooed. They want to know that you really are interested in them, and you're not just doing this to you're going on 10 different picnics, and you're just, talking to whoever. We want to know you are really interested in us. So yes, at a certain point, maybe the second date, maybe you're like, oh, she's a great catch. And then you're like, okay, let me do something a little bit upscale. So that really depends on you and your budget. But it shouldn't be this, okay, I'm giving myself 3 months to meet somebody. And if I don't meet somebody, I'm going to give up on dating and I'm going to talk shit about it. I think dating should just be a process. If you're open to finding the one, finding love, if you feel like you're getting frustrated on dating apps, because I know dating apps, they do want you to pay, and that it's the whole algorithm, and it sucks, and I get that. But what I would recommend then is to delete the dating apps. And I recommend this to everybody. Whenever it's funny because people think I would want you to go on a dating app. I actually want you to delete the dating apps. If you're somebody who's able to have a dating app and not feel this just immense resistance and you're constantly looking at it and swiping and you're getting anxious, then I would say delete those dating apps. You do not need dating apps because dating apps is going to make you, it's literally your energy is blocked and it's creating a lack energy, which is then not going to attract who you really want, who you want to be with. And so I would say delete those dating apps. You don't need a dating app and really just start enjoying your life and start putting yourself out there. Take yourself out there for a date. Go to a bar, sit there with a glass of wine, with a book, and just observe and just watch. And if you see someone beautiful, strike up a conversation. The more relaxed you are about dating and meeting somebody, the faster you're gonna meet that person. But the more I've been on 5 dates yet and they all suck. And when you have that mentality, yes, dating is not gonna work for you. You're always gonna find a reason why it sucks and why it's not working out for you. and it's going to be on a loop. And to be honest, I do not believe in these rules with dating. I'm not fluid. No, I'm not trying to say I'm fluid, but I'm very open-minded. You know, there's a lot of matchmakers, a lot of dating coaches where they say you have to do this in order, you know, as a man to get the woman. And I don't think that. Recently, one of my clients told me that she was at the gym and this man did all of the wrong things at the gym, but she still, because she just felt this connection and this energy and this pull, and also she found him attractive, which again, I tell you guys, when a woman finds you attractive, she's gonna not see, she's not gonna see a lot of your flaws. She's gonna let it go. She's gonna give you grace. But if she doesn't find you attractive, she most probably is gonna be like, oh, I'm busy, you know, just like, she's gonna make excuses. You're gonna know instantly. But to be quite honest, with actually all of my exes, when I first met them, I didn't find them, or I found them attractive for like a bit, but they weren't my, you know, like super sexy and I wasn't like super attracted to them. He did a couple other things that were, you know, something that men usually don't do. And she actually was like, wow, he did it. And she liked that because he had a bit of confidence. She was like, wow, out of all the men here that are just staring at me, they really want to come up to me, he's the only one that had the kahunas, the balls, to come and strike up a conversation. And that's what she found attractive, which is why I keep telling you, men, that don't be in your head. Do not think, oh my God, if I see this, it's going to go this way. Like, the more you're in your head, you're missing out on the candy that is around you. Okay, I didn't mean candy, but you know, your soulmate. She might be right in front of you, but because you're so stuck in your head, you're overthinking, you're going to miss out. And the way that you get better at dating and reading women is actually just going on a bunch of dates. That's really how you learn, through experience. And yes, it's going to take you some time and maybe a coach to help you kind of through that, to understand, you know, why did she kind of give you that look, or when you did this one thing, why did she pull away? And the only way that you're going to learn how to read a woman is really by asking questions, by being curious about her. You can't read a woman like you know, we're not telling you women don't want men to be psychic. We just want you to get to know us, and that's the only way that you can thoroughly read somebody. And again, I'm not a believer that, you know, men need to read a woman and women don't need to communicate. No. Women need to communicate as well. That is a big sign if the woman is mature and emotionally intelligent. So if you're finding that this woman constantly wants you to read her, that's not a good sign. There was actually, again, one of my other clients a while back, where she's like, I just want him to know what I think and what I feel. And I'm like, no, that can't happen. He's not psychic. He's just a human being. So you have to communicate and tell him how you feel, because when you don't, that means that there is something within you that you need to work on. And this other thing that we always talk about, don't want to waste time. I know that we talk about it, but dating, you are going to waste time. You are going to kiss a couple of frogs, couple of women that you're like, oh, not really, you know, I went on 3 or 4 dates with her and nothing came out of it. Yes, that is going to happen. There's no kind of magic pill to say, okay, once you do this mantra, once you pray like this, then the soulmate's going to come and you're not going to waste any time. No, that's not going to happen. You are going to waste some time. That is the whole point of dating. And it's not really wasting time, because time, again, it's very, you know, we're really here forever. And that's what I believe, at least. I mean, anyways, that's a whole different conversation. Age is nothing but a number, regardless of if you're 30, if you're 40, if you're 50, if you're 60, it really doesn't matter. If you have good energy, good vibes, you've done the inner work, you will eventually find your soulmate, okay? And again, I just want to let you guys know this as well, is that it's not all about finding your soulmate. If you don't find your soulmate, it is okay. You're fine just the way that you are. That's another mindset that you need to have. But if you're constantly like, you know, going to this, you go on a trip and you're like, oh, this woman, she looks like my soulmate, maybe she'll, like, if you're just constantly thinking about it, the further your soulmate is going to go away from you. So my biggest thing is, you know, I say this to myself all the time. You know what? If I don't find somebody, and to be honest, I'm loving being by myself recently. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, why are you not dating? Or why aren't you? I'll share with you guys maybe a little bit about. The reason why I'm not dating is because I'm right now focused on my daughter, right? And so I thoroughly want to make sure that she's good before I start in that process, because it is a big process. And when I, you know, do eventually start dating and meeting people, I feel like it's just naturally going to happen. And I also I'm a big advocate for meeting people, like meeting friends, and just like enjoying your life. And then naturally, you'll take up a class and suddenly that person will be there, and you'll have this natural conversation, and it's not going to be this big, I went on like 100 dates, and then like, I don't believe in those things. I believe that it just naturally will happen. When God has a plan for you, it's going to happen no matter what. So what is meant for you will not pass you by. Once you have that mindset, you're unstoppable. You're not going to be so stressed about finding love and dating. It's just going to be life. And lastly, what I would recommend is for you to make a list of the type of person that you are. Because a lot of the times we're looking for this person. I want this person to have, make this amount of money, and I want them to have this amazing body, and I want them to, be great, super attractive. But then I look at you and you don't encompass any of those things. So if you want something, you have to be it first. So firstly, write down, what kind of man are you today? Not in 10 years, right now. Who are you right now? I hope that I answered the question. I feel like I just kind of went all over the place, but I just wanted this to be more natural, more fluid. And so, why did I just do this? If you guys have a specific question, and again, I need it to be detailed so I can answer it the best that I possibly can, like how this question was, it was perfect, then send me a message on my Instagram. It's Nazveen Irani. And if you want, you could even put it in the comment section. I read my comments as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. And also, do not forget to like this video, share this video with somebody who needs it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.